Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from LovenStamps, and I'm excited to share projects with you this month that feature the Pampered Pets stamp set and coordinating dies, designer series paper, trinkets, ribbon, etc. This has been a really popular suite, so definitely add it to your cart and get it while it's available. So the cards that I'm going to show you this month are all cards that have some element that moves. So here is our double Z fold card here with this really cute element. This is a really simple card to do if you're new to cards that move, or you just want to get something that's a pretty quick project. This is a really great one to start with. So I'm going to go through all the steps with you here. The directions for this are printed, and getting the printable PDF document is a perk of placing an online order in my store. So you can shop with me, find me at LovenStamps.com/shop, and then you'll get this no matter what size order you place. If you place an order or orders this month in July totaling $50 or more, then you get LovenStamps card kits to go, which means you get the pieces to make this card and one of the others from the 4 this month in your mailbox, all ready to go. So think about that for kind of fun things to do in the month of July. Okay, you ready? Do we get stamping? Okay, so our card guy here, one of the nice things about this stamp set is that it is both cats and dogs. So whether you're a cat person or a dog person, remember that you can make great cards, or whether the person you're sending to is a cat or dog person, you are in good shape. So the examples I have for this month are all dogs. I'm going to show you some options for cats too. So for this card, it's actually really simple to cut, like I said. So I'm going to pull out my Stampin' trimmer here and go ahead and set this up. This is just a half sheet of cardstock, so 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm gonna go ahead and score it. I'm gonna score it once in the middle, right? Because our card's gonna score in the middle, so 4.5. That was a cutter. Okay, hold on. Good thing I have one here already. Okay, well this one's already scored, so don't use your cutting blade. Make sure you use your trimming blade. All right, so I will show you what we score anyway. So pretend this is all one piece. I'm going to score it, not cut it, at 4 1/4, which is in half. Then I'm going to slide it over, and I'm going to score it again at 2 1/8, which splits the front in half, okay? Then I would take this and turn it sideways and go ahead and cut this so that this part, so now I would use the cutting blade, cut it at 4 1/4, so that our main panel is 4 1/4 inches wide, and that leaves the strip down here at the bottom, which would be what, 1 1/4, I guess. Yeah. So the reason that I didn't pre-cut that part for you just now is to just help you see how this card goes together as a fold. So I have these pieces. I'm going to fold in half like this. I'm going to take the front and I'm going to fold it backwards. I'm going to take the front of this one and fold it backwards. Then I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to flip it over and move it down. And that is how our pieces go together, okay? So really pretty simple there. Yeah, okay, I'm good. All right, so the pieces for the front of this card are cut to 2 inches by 2 inches, and you can kind of put your pieces together depending on how you cut them. Let's see, I made some adhesive. Depending on how you cut them, so that you can get your pattern lined up if you'd like, so. All right, so I like to do this first by putting the front piece on, and it's gonna line up right to the edge here. I think I need to put my glasses on. I do. And then I'm gonna take my second piece and I'm going to, with the card still closed, go ahead and match that up so that it is a nice match there. See how that goes? So then the piece here is 2 by 4, and same as the designer series paper. I'm gonna go ahead and take my tuxedo black ink and go ahead and stamp. Remember, your greeting has to be a little bit on the high side. Oh, it's a little smeary. And so I'll do it one more time. That's the great thing about stamping first and then assembling your layers. You can always go back and flip things over. So, all right, now I'm gonna set this aside for a second. And pull this across. There we go. And I'm just going to line this up right here with the edge. Okay. And then this next part here, I'm going to take, and I'm going to use my Seal Plus for this. It's just a little bit stronger, and so I really like the way it goes on. And I'm going to go ahead and close this up and put seal only on these parts here that are going to be touching the front and the back of the card. So I'll go ahead and attach those. Okay, so I do everything with the card shut. That way I know it's all going to close properly when I'm done. Okay, so there is our base of our card. All right, so I have these guys all done here ahead of time. So you could use the cat and the mouse, or you could use the dog. And either way, layer them on a vellum circle. So let me back up a little bit and give you some tips for coloring. So here I've got our little guys here, so you can see kind of for the example. But I'm going to grab my stamp, and I'll show you the cat on this video. So I'll turn this way, it'll fit a little bit better. I'm going to show you this happy cat. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Right markers, Flirty Flamingo and Smoky Slate. So now there are lots and lots of ways to use Stampin' Blends. I'm going to show you one of my favorite simple ways. So what I'm going to do first of all is do a light coat over the whole kitty. And you kind of want your brush strokes to kind of go along with the way the fur would be laying. So you can kind of think about that as you go. Just in case you get a little bit of brush stroke that stays with your project. It'll sort of suggest that it looks natural. Okay. All right, so I have my first coat done. Then I'm going to go back with my second coat. And you can see kind of the difference between the two, how this one looks pretty flat and this one looks a lot more dimensional. I am going to add shadow parts on any place where like the fur, oops, that side, where the fur overlaps, or any place where the kitty's on the floor, so it would be darker, sort of shadowed here on the bottom. On the tail, the bottom sides of the tail, as it gets a little curve, would be shadowed. And then a little bit on these, I call them color here lines that Stampin' Up artists have added to our stamp set. All right, a little bit out here. We got this kind of there. And then a little bit sort of at the base of the ears where those connect in. Okay, then I'm going to go back with my Flirty Flamingo. This image has a really cute opportunity to use the Flirty Flamingo to add some dimension too. So then the the inmost part of the ears would be the darkest. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the darkness there. Actually, let me extend this up just a teeny bit. Okay, so that is our cat. And then what we do is take the dies. So there are coordinating cutting dies for these, and I would go ahead and put this through my die cutting machine, and then voila, I have our kitty ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and scoot that out of the way. I am going to show you this though, because one of the things that is really cool about this suite, my things are flying, cool about this suite is that there are these darling little trinkets to go with it. So on my dog card, I'm going to use the trinket and go ahead and add this. So I'll go ahead and add the dog bone on this one. But there's little hearts and little dog bones, so very cute choices. And you get, how many are in a package? 20 in a package. So you get 10 hearts and 10 little dog bones. And I want to go ahead and string this through, but I don't want it to go out here because I don't want his collar to extend out beyond him. So I'm going to show you a trick, and that is to use your pokey tool, otherwise known as a piercing tool, to go ahead and put a little hole. You can kind of circle this around a little bit to make it a little bit bigger, but you're going to put a hole right there where the end of the collar would go, okay? And then, now the question is how to get this through. So if you've made it big enough, you can string it through. Let's see. Am I gonna get it? Sometimes you can. Close enough. Okay, I got like one thread. Let's see if I can get the rest of it to come through. Nope, okay, so I couldn't. So I'm gonna show you a really great trick. So I'm going to cut a little length of this and kind of set it aside, and let me see if I can get one of these darker, the black threads, because it'll show up a little bit better. So I'm going to de-thread my twine here and grab this little strand here. Okay, so I know this is pretty tiny stuff, but trust me, this is a really great trick. So I'm going to take this piece here, I'm going to open this hole with my fingernail And I'm going to put just this loop through from the back side to the front. And basically, if you are a stitchery person and you have a needle threader, we're basically making a needle threader. So you could just grab yours from your sewing supplies. But if you don't, then this is really handy because you already have your string. Now, on the back, I'm going to just pinch it so that I have this nice loop here on the front. See that loop? And I'm going to grab the piece of thread that I want for my dog collar. And it doesn't have to be long because I'm not actually going to tie it. I'm going to just adhere it. And I'm going to run that through my thread. Okay, see how this works so far? Thread, hole. And then I'm going to take this from the back and I am going to pull that thread through. See how that pulls through? So now I have threaded my hole, and you can use this for all kinds of tricks. All right, so before I adhere it, I need to make sure I put my cute trinket on. So you could also use the same trick to thread your trinket, but hopefully the hole on this is plenty big enough. It never fails, right? So we've now threaded our trinket, I think. There we go. Okay, threaded our trinket, and this is going to attach on the front. And then to hold this in place, I'm going to go ahead on the back side and use my Stampin' Dimensionals to hold this in place. So I'm going to kind of spread that thread out so that it stays. I'm going to grab my dimensionals, and I love to clip the edges of my dimensionals for things like this so that I have sort of a long adhesive point, and that will really help to hold pieces in place. Now, on the front of this, I'm going to need to clip my threads, and our little bone trinket is probably not facing the right direction. So I'm going to show you a trick to fix that. Oh, yep, see, he's kind of turned backwards. So I'm going to turn him forwards, and he just wants to flap all over the place. So what I'm going to do is grab my glue dots and go ahead and take one of these. You might need to fold it in half depending on the size of your trinket. The heart fits the glue dot a little bit better, but you can always roll up your glue dot if you have the bone. And then go ahead and glue that down in the front, okay? See how that works? So then that would go on our card, but I promised you the cat version here. So I'm going to take my kitty. I'm going to turn our card design around a little bit, and I'm going to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals again and pop this on here. And I like to do this with the circle on the paper so that I can kind of get an idea of how things are going to fit. I want to leave room for my bow. And then I'm going to use a tiny mini Stampin' Dimensional on the back of our little mouse that I colored. Now, the mouse doesn't have a die, but he's pretty quick to cut out, so not a huge deal. And then now I can attach this, but what I have to do is I have to put adhesive only on the back where it's going to be hidden by the by our other pieces, because the adhesive will show through the vellum. So I'm going to go ahead and pop some of this Seal Plus on here, and I just put it on the back where the cat hides it. I'm going to try and keep my cat kind of straight and stick that down, okay? So now we have a fun element that kind of extends across this line here, which is one of the things I really love to do with these double Z-fold cards. So you can check my blog for more of these ideas. And then I'm going to take a little strip of paper here, and I'm going to stamp the Enjoy on here, and then do a quick clip. I'm caught in my trim. It's a very cat thing to do, right? Get caught up in your trim. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and grab a dimensional, pop this on the back here, and this kind of wraps up our card. So here's the kitty version of, oh no, not wrapped up. I have to have ribbon, right? The nice thing about this ribbon is that it coordinates with the red of the hearts in the background. Stampin' Up! Colors are fabulous, and they give you lots of choices, and the best part is that they always coordinate. So you know that your designer series paper and your ribbon and your ink and your Stampin' Blends markers all are going to coordinate, so you'll have the same color, and it really makes the projects look finished and professional. So anybody can do that. That Stampin' Up! Colors make it look easy. All right, I'm going to slide this in just a teeny bit, kind of center that card, and then I'll show you both cards together. So here is the cat version and the dog version. I don't want anyone to think that I love their pets any less than the other. So either way, a double Z fold card that is a really fun way to have a card that moves and can really wow the person that you're sending to. And I suppose if you want to, you could put the little heart here on the kitty too. So. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. I look forward to sharing some more cards that move with you this month in July. And of course, remember that if you would like to get a copy of the PDF printable at home, that is available as a free perk of ordering from my online store during the month of July. So make sure you let me know if you'd like to do that. If you have any questions about ordering online, it's very simple. And of course, if you want to, if you're ordering more than $50 and you want to make this card with the kit that you're going to get in the mail from me, then you might consider ordering the stamps to go along with it, stamps and ink colors, so that then you'll have what you need to make the cards as they're designed. So otherwise, if you don't have the stamps, of course, you can always create and change them up a little bit to use what you've got on hand. Mostly I'm just happy that you're stamping and using your supplies. So thanks so much for watching, and I will share more projects with you soon. Happy stamping.